Hi, this is Courtney, and so today I was working on content, working on emails and things like that, social media to help get some information out about my book and my workshops and my schools and things like that. And I got a call, and it was a call to volunteer to lead a 12-step um, yoga 12-step recovery meeting. And I don't do that anymore. I don't lead public classes anymore because I'm really busy as a yoga therapist in a cardiac clinic and teaching other people to teach yoga. But I also, in my heart, had agreed that once I got through this year, I would start trying to give back more to the 12-step programs. I'm very active in Al Anon, which is a support group for people who have addiction in their families or who have been affected and impacted by addiction. And so I actively go to Al Anon, not as much as I would like because of my work schedule, but I'm a big believer in the 12-step programs. And they very much coincide with a yogic lifestyle, even though a lot of people in those programs may not realize that they do. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how yoga and 12-step programs work together. When I say yoga, I mean the mind-body connection. I do not mean asana practice or physical posture. So, though that is part of a program, it is not the only part. Yoga is an 8 limb system that connects the mind and the body. It starts with the ethics. So, there are ethics in limbs 1 and 2 that teach us about how we can look at those ethics. I don't want to use the Ten Commandments so much, but it's similar to looking at a guideline like that, but it's not dogmatic. So it might be that we look to ahimsa, not causing harm to others or to ourselves. And what does that mean? And that might be a topic we discuss. Or what does contentment mean? Or what does discipline mean? The Santosha and Tapas. So, you might explore those things. And then the next, um, the next few steps deal with breathing practice to help regulate the nervous system, the heart rate, the blood pressure, to get people out of a sympathetic response into a parasympathetic response, or an agitated state, a nervous state, into a more relaxed state. Then we go into asana practice, which is movement to move energy in the body. And we know that we experience emotion and feeling in our body. We have gut feelings. My heart aches. They stabbed me in the back. I couldn't speak. We experience our emotions physically. You often hear that talked about as chakras, and I don't mean for that to be scary to anybody, but there is this body is not just this flesh body. There's a lot that goes on in here, and it's all interconnected. So the movement that we do often is to help release tension in the body, to release stuckness, discomfort, because dis-ease leads to this disease. And so disease could be cancer, disease could be alcoholism, disease could be addiction of any kind, from shopping to self-medicating in any way, to actual physical manifestation of illness in the body. So after we move through movement, we move on to meditation and practices that we use in meditation, such as visualization and positive thinking, stress reduction practices. And so I, I will often combine a yoga 12-step recovery, and honestly, everything I do as a yoga therapist, it's pretty much the same. It's all yoga. So if I'm in cardiac care, it's still the same as if I'm working in yoga 12-step recovery, except there's no meeting. Um, I'm going to take the power of the mind and the heart, the energetic body, the way we experience emotion, and we're going to work with that through meditation, centering, visualization, and then we're going to combine that with some gentle movement. You can do more assertive, aggressive type of movements, but it's not necessary for what our purpose is. Some people need that if they're really lethargic and they're really well, let's just say some different type bodies need different things, but it's not necessary to have the benefit. So when you combine somatic therapy, movement, with cognitive therapy, the mind, you change neural pathways, literal neural pathways in the mind, in the body. And when you change those pathways, you begin to change the way a person functions in life. The best way I know how to explain this for you is if you decide you're going to run a marathon. When you decide to run a marathon, you don't start with the beginning and the end. You run, you know, 5 minutes or a block, and then you run a half a mile, and then 3 weeks later you run a mile, and then you slowly train for it. For when the time is right, you eventually can run the whole thing. Well, it's very similar to that. It's training. It's training of the mind and the body. And also, it's another example I like to use is it's like saving money. When you have, let's say you get $1,000 and you have no money, and you decide you're going to save 500 so that later on when you need it, if something happened, you would have that resource there. We train the body and the mind in a controlled environment, a safe space, so that when we need it out in the world, and we are we are given temptation and struggle and strife, that we have the tools that we need inside of us to deal with it, to fix it. And and it's something you can always come back to. It's something that I would like people to know. I'm not encouraging you to make a mistake, but should you make a choice that you're not happy with, it is still there in you. It is still something that you can go back to, and it's still available to you. Nobody can take it from you because it's in here, not out there. And so I will go and voluntarily speak at this meeting and help these people if I can, and hopefully give them some resources. So I would just encourage you, if you need yoga for 12-step recovery, find someone who does that. But if you don't have that available, start meditating. Find a yoga class that you like to go to by a qualified teacher that knows what he or she is doing, and start building that into your life, and you will see changes. All right, my name is Courtney Butler Robinson. You can just Google my name with the word yoga, and you'll find lots of resources on me. I do teach some meditations, and I have some free ones on Insight Timer. And everything I have on Insight Timer, all of my meditations, any money that's gained from that, there's a paid subscription and a free subscription. I think you can find me on both. All of that goes, any money I make goes to charity. So I encourage you to use that one. And just, I think you can find me on the free one. So, alrighty, thank you so much and have a great day.